Here we are. Wonderful. Hello, everybody. Sending you tons and tons and tons of love. How are you doing? Hope you're doing okay. In fact, I hope you're doing better than okay. I hope you're feeling uplifted, positive, hopeful, connected to yourself, grounded, safe, and feeling your way through what we're going through right now in this incredible and extraordinary time. So this evening, it's just me, no guests today. Although actually I have some amazing guests coming up. Next week, I have an amazing Russian shaman called Ayla, and she's going to be joining me, but I'll post next week about that so you can make sure that you're live on that call with us. But today, I just thought I would connect with you because I've been getting quite a lot of questions from people watching my videos and people reaching out to me and generally feeling a real lack of security. And also I want to, if it's okay with you, talk to you about what this means to speak your truth. We could just get some clarity on that. And maybe we can navigate that together. Like, what does that mean? What is truth? Essentially, what is truth? And what are we saying when we're feeling like really, you know, in that moment of I need to speak my truth? What's that all about? And where's that coming from? And I think it's going to be really useful for all of us just to check in with ourselves and really say, hold on, is that really truth? Or is there something else happening? So I'm just going to talk about that. But in the meantime, any of you have any questions? Thank you for joining me, everybody. It's beautiful to see you here. Thank you. Please just write them in the chat box underneath and I can connect and respond to you as we're going along, okay? So first of all, what is truth? Now, truth for most people, I think, is something that's negotiable. It's something that everybody says, well, there's lots of different truths. There's lots of different versions of the truth. And it does depend on where your perspective is, where you're standing to get a perspective on something. If you're standing this side, if you're standing this side, if you're looking from above, if you're, you know, if you've got filters over your eyes, if you've got a certain level of sensory going on or a certain level of filtration going on inside of you as to how much you can allow yourself to perceive. And by perceive, I'm going to say not only perception of vision, as in how much you see with your eyes, but perception as in the information you take in through your ears, through your eyes, through your senses, through your smell, through your ability to get a taste of what's in the air, the emotions, the feelings, and also the perception of empathy. Thank you for all the hearts. The empathy also gives us another sense of reading of what's going on, right? So there's tons of different, and also what we can touch, what we can connect to, what feels real, what feels solid. So truth is completely negotiable compared to, you know, for all of us, depending on which angle we're coming at it from. And so I just want to say that to me is not truth. That to me is perception. That to me is sharing our experience, and our experience completely varies. Now, to me, truth is constant. Truth isn't changeable. That's why it's called truth. So that's why I want to get really clear on this, because I'm hearing a lot of people really, you know, in lots of different ways, actually, and I'll express in a minute all those different ways, and perhaps you can relate to some of them for yourself. But the way in which people are addressing their truth and communicating their truth. Now, sometimes I'm hearing a truth being spoken as, I disagree with you. I think you're wrong. I don't like what you're saying. I don't like what you're posting on social media. And I'm just going to speak my truth and tell you that you're wrong. Or a truth could be, Now I'm feeling really justified and I need to bang my drum because I've got a justified rant going on about this thing that I feel really passionate about and I just have to get it out. Sometimes, oh, I think I might have lost connection. Just bear with me a second, guys. I'm just going to say, Kashif, I don't need your phone number. Thank you very much. And I'm not going to be calling you. That's not why I'm here. Just so you know. So in speaking our truth, truth is something that in its nature is very constant, is very unnegotiable. It's not something you sit down and have a debate about. Truth is truth. Truth is what actually is. And what if, instead of saying, okay, over here, I feel like this is truth, so I'm going to communicate it. Oh, but now my truth is over here and I'm going to communicate that. And now my truth is over here and I'm going to communicate that, which is all well and good. But let's maybe not call it truth. Let's perhaps say, currently, this is what I'm feeling. Currently, this is what I am experiencing, and it's probably going to change tomorrow. And can I stay open? I would encourage us to do that. Just stay flexible. And what if, to understand the truth, we actually have to bring our awareness, our ability to be conscious, and not just conscious as in awake and we can think, but conscious as in we bring our heart, our awareness from the heart, and conscious as well, our awareness from our sense of compassion and empathy. And we also have a sense of what's really real, what's grounded, what's founded, what's actual, right? So there's an alignment here of what truth actually is, that was and will be and still is right now. And can we bring our awareness, our consciousness to that? And we have to be humble to enter into the realms of truth. We have to have our ears open in order to really hear and to really listen. We have to come with a surrendered body. We should be able to breathe and have a visceral, connected, very tangible experience of the truth. In other words, can we swallow it? Does it feel good when we take it down through our bodies? How does it land when we hear it, when we feel it? Right? Because we are an instrument of truth. Or we can be really out of tune, trying to express in all kinds of really funky, sometimes very, hard to listen to expressions. So I'm not judging here. I'm just saying, let's be aware, let's discern what's really true, as in this is truth, and also what is our current expression as we find our way to the truth. Does that make sense? And of course, we're all allowed to express. I just want to make that really clear. Freedom to communicate, freedom to say how we feel, freedom to say what we currently think is a very vital freedom. And everybody has that right. And so for any of you people out there who are perhaps being intolerant to somebody else's right to their freedom of speech, but you feel very justified in your freedom of speech, and you're like, I'm allowed to tell you, like, you're full of shit and your opinions are wrong. You are free to do that. Of course you are. But consider the impact. And basically, it's a little bit hypocritical if a person who is saying such things is going to another person and saying, you shouldn't say that. When you have every right to speak, why don't they have a right to speak and be heard and be considered? Because in this world of people trying to find out what the real truth is, and let's bring it into context, what is the real truth of what's going on with this really crazy situation? There are all kinds of different realities playing out, all kinds of different what people are calling truths playing out. Now, to me, that's not truth. That's versions and perceptions of our unique experiences. And each one of us is entitled to our own unique experience of our life. And we're allowed to compare, we're allowed to measure, we're allowed to communicate about that and share with one another. And we are also allowed to attack one another, unfortunately, but I just feel that that's not the best way to go forward. Because if we want to really understand the bigger picture, what's closer to the actual truth of what's going on, then perhaps we should stay open to listening. And perhaps together, collectively, we could all come to the truth instead of arguing and fighting about it. Because anybody that's doing that, quite frankly, you're not looking for truth, you're just looking for an argument. Okay, so just be real about that. So anyway, how does that sound when I say that to you? And have you got any questions? Is there anything that I can help you with? Yeah, Lisa, thank you. He does need Tinder, bless. It's not what we're here for today. So do you have any questions, guys? Anything that I can help you with right now? I'm not even sure if this is still going live. I think my internet might have totally let me down. Here we go. Yeah, it's live. Thank you, Carl. What do you guys think about truth? Your ears are ringing very loudly. Carrie, are your ears ringing loudly because you have something wrong with your ears? Maybe get that checked out. But also, I get the angels in my ears. Thank you, Mandeep. Thank you. Yeah, I get the angels in my ears, and I get like, it's like a high-pitched sound, and it's a bit like just before your ears pop on an airplane, and it's like almost like you get a bit of pressure and it gets a bit blocked, and you can sort of hear yourself funny. I get that a lot when there's a high angelic or high energies around me. You're just picking up high frequencies, potentially, Carrie, but obviously I don't know, because I would get yourself, you know, some care to make sure that you are actually okay and your ears are okay. Anybody else? Does anybody have any questions that you want some help with right now to navigate your way through what's going on? I know a lot of people are feeling really unsafe. It's like there's so many people are trying to make plans right now, myself included, and wanting to go forward, wanting to create and you know, do things, or some people relocating, and it's really hard to make plans right now. And so there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of instability. There's talk of a second lockdown. There's quite a lot of talk of that. So how can we make ourselves feel safe at this time? How can we find our stability and our security? And I just want to encourage all of us, like, even though this feels like a really new situation, a never before situation that's happening on the planet right now, and you're right, it's never before, but it is an extension of what was already happening. Okay, it was already getting to a point where something had to give, something had to break. The system had got, I say the system in a very loose term, as in the world economy, world governance, the way that we do things socially and politically, the way we do things environmentally, the way that human beings have been running essentially on a very self-destructive mode, has had a shelf life. It wasn't sustainable. So you can imagine the little needle on the dial was going, yellow alert, red alert, something's gonna have to give, because we could no longer sustain basically so many human beings really losing the plot up here, not understanding who they are, not knowing, I've got those angels in my ears, Carrie, not treating one another as we should be treating one another, as we should love and treat ourselves, so we should treat and love others, and learn what that love really means, learn what it means to be a real humanity, instead of acting like a very, very sick humanity, because we've been incredibly disconnected from what's important. And so we have put so much of our focus and our sense of security in things outside of us. Governments, educational systems, healthcare systems, you name it, like travel systems, money systems, food production systems, air systems, water systems, plumbing systems, toilet systems. We have put so much of our own sustainability into the hands of other people who have misused this power. And essentially, when we don't own our own power, and we are very naively, or some innocently, but also from a sense of an unwillingness to claim our own sense of self-responsibility and kind of grow up as a human race, we have, denied ourselves our own power. We've given it freely to other people. In fact, it's not free, because they charge us for it. We have paid other people to take our power away from us. And that got to a very unsustainable level. So humanity en masse has been collapsing from an inability to take self-responsibility, from an inability to actually grow up and come out of a very childlike dependency upon adults that used and abused the inner child, so to speak, of all of us. And then we're kind of having this backlash and saying, well, that's not fair, and bad government, and bad, bad this and bad that, and that, this is wrong and that's wrong, and why is this happening to us? And it's happening because human beings need to grow up. It's happening because we en masse need to take that power back and understand that this is an evolutionary process. This is not just a social play that's unfolding. This is not just about how we have new governments. This is not just about a health situation. This is about human beings taking responsibility for themselves, and instead of being dependent, learning to be independent, in that we can listen to our own needs, fundamental human needs, and yes, air, water, food, shelter, clothing, safety, protection, community. But we also need to understand we have other needs. We have needs to be seen, to be heard, to be connected to ourselves, to our source of our creation, to our planet, and to our inner senses, and not just lost up here in one aspect of our intelligence systems, which is our mind, intellectual, creative, whatever, extra perceptionary mind or intuitive mind. But we have other systems, other intelligence systems within us that have also needed our attention. We live too much in our minds. We've become top heavy, unbalanced and disconnected, and we need to be connected throughout our entire system, like fully plugged in, owning the self. And when we own ourselves, we get readouts. We start to listen to our inner compasses, our inner dials that let us know how we are, what we should feed ourselves, when we should feed ourselves, how we should communicate, what needs communicating, how we feel. And we can take care of our needs. And we have a need for love. We have a need for freedom. We have a need for personal expression. And these, maybe you might not think, well, I don't need love, Tara, to survive. I'd invite you to think about that again. Because if you really don't feel loved as a little child, your chances of survival go right down, because what have you got to live for? And it takes an incredibly strong soul to, even in an environment where there seems like there's no love, for that soul to survive. And many of you are those souls, because you're feeling some kind of connection to some kind of divine or inner love inside of you that has sustained you when many times you haven't wanted to sustain, you've not wanted to be here. And it's the seeking of that love, that I'm going to find it one day. I'm going to find where I belong. I'm going to find that love, whether it's a community, a family, another person, or just your own self, really, that has kept you going. So love is essential for your survival and your thriving. And so love has different aspects to it that is really important for you, that you have a need for, in order for you to survive and then thrive. And for your evolution, it's absolutely crucial, because as a being of absolute love, it's from that place. And again, we come back to that truth. It's from that unconditional truth. It's from that unconditional love. And it's when you align with that, that you will evolve as a human being. And it happens in here. It happens inside of you. It doesn't happen outside of you on some other planet or outside of this body or up in the astral or etheric realms. It happens inside of you. An evolution, like a little caterpillar, turns to complete mush before turning into the butterfly. And so that's what's happening to us on a grand scale. So that mass destruction of all that we have used and abused and been dependent on for a false sense of security, whilst we're like little babies, not owning our power, not owning ourselves, all of that's been being taken away from us bit by bit, dramatically. And this is where everybody's panicking. So this is where I invite you. What's your truth? What really is the truth? Truth is you exist. Truth is you breathe. Truth is you are unconditionally loved. And there is something here that is unconditionally loving you and serving you and inviting you to come into that space and awaken and thrive and take responsibility and evolve, grow up. And that's within and outside of every single one of you. It happens every single time you take a breath. So you can come into that slipstream. That lifeline right there is your security. That's where you need to be. If you can, stop clinging to everything else, because it's like trying to hold on to sand as it falls through your fingers, and everything that you thought was valuable will just crumble into dust. And it's really not worth grabbing onto. What's for you will not pass you by. What's not for you, what's not real, will disappear, will dissolve. So just notice, are you going to get upset and frightened when what you thought was real disappears? And trust me, the world is going to be seeing so much of that over the next few years, intensely so in the next few months. You're going to see statues, figures, people, institutions, companies, corporations that you have relied on and you thought were good and that were serving you. You're going to see the other face. You're going to see behind the masks. You're going to see behind the lovely, glamorous sheen, because that's all falling away. Unfortunately, because it's not going to be, well, it can be, you can enjoy it or not enjoy it. It's up to you how you perceive that. But basically, some people are gonna be very upset and very shocked because you thought that was real. And it's going to be dissolving like dust between your fingers as you grasp to go, what if that's not real, and that's not real, and that's not real, and that's not good, and that's not what I thought it was. and you've put your sense of identity and you know, security in these things and these people and these institutions, you're going to potentially feel very lost and hurt. Okay, so I'm encouraging you now to just be prepared that that's going to happen. How do I know? I just know. This is just how I see things. Okay, I could be wrong, but I'm not. It's going to happen. It's been on the cards for a very, very, very long time. It's going to happen. Every single place in this world, there will be no stone unturned. But this is a revolution. This is evolution. This is what has to happen so that humanity can come back into divine order and into a sustainable, self-sustainable, thriving reality. Okay, so you're not letting go of anything that's worth it. You know, what you're letting go of is the illusion, the delusion, the fake, the not real, the stuff that doesn't serve you. That's all that's going to go. Nothing good is going to go. What's good is what remains. What's real remains. What's true was true, will be true, and is true now. What's true will not go. Okay? And you want truth. I hear everybody banging on about truth. You want truth? Find what's true always. And that's your security. So you stay in your breath, connected to your senses, connected to your own inner compasses. And, you know, start moving in, guys. Start moving your awareness into you. Rewire, get your senses reconnected. Get in your bellies, get in your empathy, get in your compassion, get in your wombs, get in your balls, get in your, you know, get into your body, get into your heart, and start listening to those inner systems for your guidance so that you know what's real. And then when everything falls apart, you're going to feel solid, secure, stable, strong, capable, connected, belonging inside you. This is where your attention needs to be right now. This is where you build the new earth, the new world, the new reality. You build it inside of you with your own love and attention and awareness and connectivity. Okay, that's where it happens. Let go of what it really isn't serve you. Learn to serve yourself, the inner child. Learn to serve that inner child so that he or she can, or they can grow up and become a true human being, that which you've been designed to become. Just like that little caterpillar is designed to become a butterfly, but you wouldn't tell looking at it. And you wonder, how can that little wriggly thing sprout wings? Where are the wings going to come from? You could look inside of it and say, there's no wings inside this caterpillar. You cut it open. And yet it does. And we know this to be true because we know it's true, right? This is non-debatable. It's true. A caterpillar will turn into a butterfly. And it's the same truth for us. We're caterpillars. We're dependent little creatures that we've got used to identifying with ourselves in a certain way, that we look in a certain way and we behave in a certain way and we, you know, do things a certain way. However, we're just a caterpillar. We are going through that mulchy process inside the cocoon where everything just turns to mush. The whole caterpillar body just turns to water, basically. It turns to mushy, slushy liquid. It's no longer a recognizable caterpillar. If you open a cocoon, you'd be like, where's the caterpillar gone? You can't see the caterpillar anymore. It's disappeared. Of course, you wouldn't do that because you'd never get the butterfly, right? So, but this is what's happening to us. And then before you know it, you have this metamorphosis and you don't even know you're a butterfly until you break out of that cocoon and pop, out come your wings. And you start moving into this new body, right? So the attention of the caterpillar is not bothered about what's happening outside of its cocoon. The whole world could change. Somebody could pick it up off the branch and move it to a different branch, okay? The caterpillar is not going to get bothered about that. The caterpillar is invested in its own personal growth. in its own personal metamorphosis. And that's where our attention needs to be, because everything that we have related to is going to massively and significantly transform. It will be unrecognizable. Okay, so let it do its thing. There are greater forces at work, at play, that there's a DNA to the planet that has been activated and is in co-creation. It's happening. Something way beyond our human control is happening. We just have to allow it to unfold. Try not to be control freaks and get in the way. Allow ourselves to surrender and get focused on our own metamorphosis. Get focused on what's really true and let go of all the other stuff that really isn't. All those opinions, at the end of the day, they're not going to serve you. They're not going to matter. What's going to serve you is your breath, this beautiful body, and the connection that you have with yourself and your source, and with the love that you are. So plug in there. So how does that resonate with you? Take a deep breath and feel. I think that I just give words to something that a lot of you know is going on, and you just need a pointer, you need it articulated, or you need to just be reminded, help you come back and help you focus. So it's my total pleasure to do that. So how does that feel, guys? Yeah, that's right, Charlie. Yeah, manifesting reality. There you go. Absolutely. And yeah, I'm excited for the future of our children too. I'm going to make a whole another video actually about children. I made one a few weeks ago called Birthing in the New Earth. If you have children, or you're interested in children, or you're interested in co-creation, you're interested in conscious procreation, you're interested in masculine and feminine energies and our roles right now, please go to my YouTube channel, Tara Love Perry, and go and find the video that says Birthing the New Earth. It's about an hour long. There's a lot of information in that video for you if you want to, but I will make another video very soon about the children. And in fact, that's really urgent. I'll be doing that really soon, okay? So loads of love, everybody. Thanks for joining me on here. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Do any of you have any questions before I go? I think I've covered quite a lot, actually, of the things that people have been asking me. And by the way, if you want a breath meditation, it's called Breathe and Receive. It's a signature meditation or practice, really. It's not even so much as a meditation. It's a practice of breathing where you basically undo all techniques of breathing and you just allow yourself to receive the breath as unconditionally as it's being given to you. And you basically, you come back to your most fundamental essence. Okay, it just plugs you straight back into yourself and into source. So if you want to get a free copy of that, please go to my website. I have a new one, iloveyoumi.love. You can go and download it. Or you'll be sent an email with the download link. And you can also check out my other services on taraloveperry.com. But any of you want to know, how to find yourself, how to have self-realization, how to plug back into your inner senses, how to learn to love yourself unconditionally and come back to that, you can find all kinds of good stuff on those websites, iloveyoumi.love and taraloveperry.com. Okay, more than happy to support you with those programs. So if you like this video, please share it with your family, your friends, your tribe. Please give it a thumbs up and a comment, and I look forward to seeing you next week on Self-Love Talks. And by the way, also, I'm going to start doing lives on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, because I do upload my Facebook lives onto YouTube, I'm going to start doing lives, my YouTube friends. Thank you so much, because actually loads of you, I've had loads and loads of new subscribers recently, and I really love and value that, and thank you so much. Basically, it just means that we can reach more people. And the people that I'm connecting with, the people that I'm collaborating with together, we are just building a network of really high vibrational, like-minded beings, people to share this message with all of you, to really help humanity evolve. And so, you know, if you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. And very soon I'm going to be doing YouTube lives as well. So you can either find me on Facebook or you can find me on YouTube, and then we can help spread the love and put more love on this planet. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Sending you tons and tons of love. Mwah. Take care.